Good evening, welcome to the Planning Board meeting February 4th, 2026. Time is 7 p.m. We have a couple of things on the agenda today, and we have a member of the Planning Board dialing in remotely by phone. Hi, Lori.
Hey, everyone.
Lori, we've got a couple of applicants and counterparties here tonight as well, and we're recording this as well for the TV Charlton to be uploaded to the Planning Board site. So first on the agenda is a public hearing for the C.R. Hansen construction for Beach Middle Road property. We have our counsel with us as well. I see the applicant here. Thank you both for being here. We have our counsel as well. So this is, we're revisiting this. There's been a lot of discussion, a lot of work I know from Mr. Hansen, the applicant, on this already. And from the abutters, thank you both for being here. Why don't we get started with this? I understand we've got some new information. One of the guidelines that I'm going to be following is a memo from our building commissioner. Just recently, the end of January, he put together a sequence of events, a very reasonable sequence of events that I think is good advice, and I'd just like to maybe see if council had a chance to read that. This is from Kurt Meskis, January 28th.
Let me see if I have that letter.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the sequence of events is, it talks about the applicant just making sure there's verification of ownership of the parcel. To engage the applicant, there's a request here for the applicant to put in escrow some money for engineering services, and then to fulfill some of the needs of our Town of Charlton's highway requirements, and then to get a date certain with the abutter, all the ownership of the rights of way to the planning board before we close the public hearing in order to make a decision on the application. So that is basically the sequence of events I think the board was going to follow. But I'd like to open it up maybe for a quick discussion with council around some of the issues, just in summary that we've
Yeah, thank you. For the record, Attorney Christopher Alphen, Blattman, Bobrowski, Haverty, and Silverstein. I think just as initial matter, I think we reviewed this the last time I was here, which was a whole bunch of meetings before ago, was that this is a plan that's being submitted under 81FF, which is that they've proven that there's a plan of land that existed prior to the adoption of subdivision control law in town. And so they have certain protections as an existing right-of-way shown on a plan. However, the applicant's still required to submit this just as if it was any normal subdivision plan. So I haven't looked deeply into the application. I just received some materials, but I think it's important for the board and for their peer review to make sure that the application contains all that it would be required under any sort of normal subdivision control law application, and that includes a list of waivers. Now, there may be waivers that they can't meet because they're shown on a road that might not be wide enough, so on and so forth, or not have a cul-de-sac, and so on and so forth. So there might be things that under your subdivision control, subdivision rules and regulations that they can't meet, but they still need to add that as a waiver, and it should be treated just like a definitive subdivision plan. And just like a definitive subdivision plan, the planning board needs to make a determination of whether there is adequate access for this road for emergency access and utilities to serve a house. So that's even though this is a road that already exists and it has protections, and all the applicant needs to do is use the area which he has rights in, or as it's shown on the original plan, that the board's position or their responsibility sort of remains the same. That's number one. Number two, we did take a look, because I know that this is going to come up, about rights in the road. I did notice that the owner, I don't know if the owner is the applicant, but I'm sure there's some sort of explanation from the applicant about how the owner and the applicant are related, and I'm sure he can provide some owner authorization. But from what I can tell, and I haven't done a full title exam because that's not on the burden of the town to do a full title exam, but from what the applicant has provided to us is that they're showing a lot of land on a plan that references a plan. And under Massachusetts, under the derelict fee statute, that is sufficient to show that they have easement rights on that way. Whether that way was built or not, one who is shown on a plan of land that abuts a way has rights to use the entirety of the way. So I think that it's clear that the property has easement rights in the private way, and then they also have the right to maintain that way and make upgrades to that way as long as they do not interfere with the use of others. So with that said, I know that there was conversations about concerns about potentially improvements by one of the neighbors that may be within the way. Now, that's more of a private property issue that isn't really in the purview of the board. But it's still the board's job to make sure that any of that infrastructure is not going to be detriment to the construction of this road. So if there's some sort of septic system that's in the road that's going to cause a problem with the construction of this road, then that's something that our peer review and this board should consider. Having said that, it doesn't necessarily mean that the road may cause problems to other people would give this board a reason to deny it. As long as they can prove that a road can go in there that provides sufficient access for emergency vehicles and for utilities, then that is really what the board's obligation and duties are. There may be other private property issue between the applicant and the neighbors that may not be in the purview of this board, and it's probably in the purview of land court or courts in determining easement rights and property rights and issues of abandonment when it comes to easements. Those are all might be relative and might be there or not there, but that's really not the board's obligation. The board's obligation is to say, has the applicant provided enough title information to say that they have rights to use that way? And in my view, they have. Having said that, if there is really concerns about this private way and their easement rights, and I haven't seen any opposition yet from any of the neighbors of whether they have access rights into that way, they certainly can provide a legal memorandum and title background to prove for some reason that the derelict fee statute doesn't apply to this road, and we'd be happy to review that. But from what the applicant has provided, it seems to me that it's very clear that it's a property shown on the plan and therefore they have rights in that road. So I know that's a lot, but I figured I'd go through everything as a starting point.
Thank you. Counselor, there was just a quick summary. Quick summary is a full application will be required for subdivision control. And the second was that the rights to the road, the rights to the way are probably there by default by having shown this property on an older plan. A lot older
Yeah,
plan.
over 100 years.
Like, I've never even seen pictures and I'm 45, so.
I would be
Yeah.
71 years, they parents
Right.
like, yeah.
So why
But
is this
that,
even?
but by default, that they probably, unless you can do a full deed search, title search, it's probably by default that the easement, they have rights to the easement.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how old the plan is, title rights are title rights. There are just as an aside, for the board's information, again, not the board's purview, different arguments about abandonment in private ways and easements, but that is not within the town or the board's purview to make a determination of whether easement rights have been abandoned.
And it's not the town or the board's intent, we don't do title searches or deed searches either, so that's up to the applicant or the abutters. So just wanted to make sure you heard that part about rights to the easement, because that's maybe a big part of it.
Yes,
Right.
I just have some concerns where my lawyer,
Right. Yep, and I have read through the briefings. Any comments? I'm thinking maybe we open this up to the board and then open it up to the public just in a second or two. Any other comments? I know there's a lot of stakeholders in this project.
Can I have a question?
Yeah, right after the board
Oh,
does a
sorry,
review,
that
and then we'll open up
okay,
to
that
public
was already
comments.
done.
Thank you.
Sorry.
I think there was a question, I don't know, in the peer reviews report of whether you need ownership rights of other lot owners along the subdivision to approve the road, and the answer to that question is no. If you have easement rights in a private way, then you may make upgrades and apply for subdivision approval without the signatures of others who might have rights in that road.
All right, we were just going through the Hanson application, of course, and we did see, please, maybe some comments. I do see a letter from your attorney, LaValle.
yes.
Yeah? So tell me, what are your
Okay.
intent?
Okay, I typed everything out
Yep.
for myself so I
Yep.
can read it.
Please.
Okay. Okay, Mr. Hanson has failed to prove the necessary consults pursuant to MGL Chapter 44, Section 53G to assure no damage to neighboring properties or environment. Previously, I provided where my septic system is located. The proposed road could do severe damage to my septic system, which has been serving the house for over 30 years. The applicant has failed to show any deeded language that they have rights to use the private road area in common with others, namely 96 Cranberry Meadow Shore Road. Further, the applicant's property, parcel 1, on deed recorded with the Worcester Record of Deeds, book number 69507, page 197, fails to show any transfer of the rights from the original developer, Kester and Butler, Highland Grove campsite plans dated August 3rd, 1929, to use Beach Road up to Cranberry Meadow Road. Mr. Hanson has not yet addressed issues brought to light by Graves Engineering, December 11, 2025. Peer review reports states the purpose construction for a private way, which in this case is abandoned, which agreed with abutters. I hold the easement right on the proposed road. Mr. Hanson has not addressed the concerns of the grading of the gravel road, which will impact the abutters foundation, including mine. Mr. Hanson has also not addressed safety structural concerns like butters with the Charlton, with the one that Kurt sent, that one there, Graves
Yes, yep.
Engineering, the peer review,
Right. Yep.
DPW, but rather treats them as obstacles. In this manner, Mr. Hanson has an alternate, less destructive, I'm sorry, that's a tongue twister for me,
Thank you.
through Highland Road. This has caused me great hardship and cost to address this ongoing concern with the plan. Mr. Hanson has failed to provide various critical information in the attempt to obtain approval.
Right.
I own a budding house and property for over 30 years. This is harmful to the butters and my property, so I'm requesting that the plans for the Beach Middle Road be denied.
Thank you. Thank you for I appreciate your feedback. Good job, thank you. So there, have you had a chance to review Councilor Valley's notes? I don't know if you had seen
Yeah,
that.
I see his letter here. Again, I think a lot of the comments I can't give an opinion about because they're relative to peer review comments. Regarding, again, our opinion about rights in the way, until we are provided by perhaps Attorney the Valley about how rights in this private way do not benefit the property, the applicant's property, we're not going to change our opinion that it is a way that's shown on the plan, and under Massachusetts law, under the Derelict Free Statute, when you are a property that abuts a private way and shown on plan, you have rights to the entire into the entire way. So until we're proven otherwise by other title research, then that's
Yep.
it is what it is.
Thanks for your comment on that. I guess we could maybe move to Mr. Hanson. Thank you.
So we'll have a couple comments. My wife Crystal will have a couple comments. So number one is when it comes to the septic system, we tried to do the due diligence with the Board of Health and ask for any records that may be there so I could give them to my engineer if it would be something that would be in the way of the road. There's nothing on file. So if we need something to go up, if we can get some sort of a plan from an engineer or something that shows the dimensions of where the septic is, the tank is, where the leach field is, where it ends, we will have something to go off. And we're not saying that we won't try to mitigate those issues and do due regard to making sure that that system is protected. That's number one on that. And number two is on the subdivision plan. This is for the attorney. We had talked about, the board had asked about, we had this a few meetings back about a site plan. So I submitted a site plan, went to the DPW fire department and had the plan made up from the engineer, had it reviewed by Graves. And I think there was a common ground that it was showing adequacy of the way. Is that plan sufficient to the board to be able to make a decision if it's going to provide safe access?
Through the board, and I don't want to direct my comments directly to the applicant, so through the board I'll answer that question. And that is a question for peer review. It's above my pay grade, but again, the applicant's required to submit a definitive subdivision plan because they're creating frontage. Now, under 81 FF, he has certain protections because it's a road that exists in record that predates subdivision law. But he's still required to submit a subdivision plan that may have several waiver requests that he can't fulfill because it's such an old way shown on the plan and it predates subdivision. But those waivers still need to be requested, and it should be, the process should be the same as if it was being filed as a definitive subdivision plan. So I don't know if the plan that you submitted meets that criteria. I think that's a question for our peer review.
Okay.
And again, the board will want to review all the waivers
So
as well.
what I'll do then is I'll take that plan, bring it to the engineer, have him file the definitive subdivision, have Graves take a look at it again, put the money in escrow, have them look at it and make sure it's adequacy, and then basically we'll list every waiver that we're gonna need that we can't meet.
Yeah, see, this is what I thought may have happened, and maybe there was a miscommunication that just a site plan was submitted opposed to a definitive subdivision plan that was submitted, and it should be a definitive subdivision plan that gets submitted. To the applicant's point, the fact that we already have peer review looking at this doesn't hurt, and the fact we're having discussions about this doesn't hurt, but really what it should be is it's as an application to the definitive subdivision.
Couple comments, yeah?
Yeah, and just with,
Please.
just so we're all on the same page. I'm Crystal Hanson, sorry. I'm
Thank
usually
you.
at home, but I have watched all the videos, so I'm all up to speed. I'm involved, with this, usually in the background, but, so, as your attorney said, we do have the rights to access this, so that has been established. And I am asking that, the abutter Karen, if she could, like we mentioned, provide, you know, exact dimensions of where this is, because the photograph that was provided with the cones doesn't give us exact measurements. So in order to, you know, try to protect her system and where this road is, we need definitive measurements. What is under the ground? What size tank? Is it a septic system? Is it a cesspool? Is it working? Like, if it's already crushed, you know, she has mentioned that she has parked vehicles in this area. So for us, we just need confirmation of what's there. So if you want us to protect it, I ask that, you know, some documentation is provided so we can do that for her and mitigate that concern for her. And obviously when Graves reviews the other plan, any water runoff or anything is part of that peer review, so that will be mitigated at that time.
May I
Good, thank you for
respond to
the
that?
information. Sure. Yeah, just quickly. And I think
I'm
this is-
old, it
yeah.
just went over my head.
Yeah, yeah.
It's gone.
Right.
It's gone.
Please, yeah.
So the thing is, I've already gave where my septic system is. I've already gave the dimensions.
Yeah, right.
The septic system's been there.
Right.
And
Okay.
it's a working septic system.
It's
It's
not
been
going nowhere.
proved that it's not a cesspool.
Right. Good.
So I just wanna make that clear.
And I think just for, just so you know, the board isn't, we're not trying to protect, this is private property, the septic system is private property. We're not trying to protect private property, we're just trying to make sure that the way has enough support
But if
for
we-
traffic and emergency vehicles.
Yeah, if there's nothing to go off, though, the point is that if there's nothing for us to go
Which it
off.
does not.
She's,
Yep.
we, not, it's just like, me bringing a plan on a piece of notebook paper and saying this is adequate
Yep.
to develop this way. You're gonna say, well, why don't you go home and get an engineer and come back to me
Yeah.
when you have something,
And
right?
you've seen the building commissioner's note, Mr. Hanson, right?
So
from
if we set a
Janice?
time frame, I
Yeah.
would be more than happy to give the abutter the time to do her due diligence.
Right.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I've done
Yeah,
everything.
yeah, thank
Okay.
you.
I'm
Done.
done.
I like
Okay,
it.
that's fine.
Thank you.
That's
very
it.
much.
It's
I
all
like
done.
it.
I'm done.
So, can
I
we go
like
through the chair?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Please.
Good job.
I think what's needed is engineering drawings or an as-built of the septic system. The pictures aren't suitable for an engineering purpose like this, so an as-built by an engineer that shows where the system is, the measurements from the house, the measurements from your property line is really what's necessary.
Well, then let him prove it and
Right.
let him pay for it.
I think the other component of this is more to have, as Mr. Meskis had laid out, an engineering design of the improvement of the way and a guarantee from an engineer that an emergency vehicle will be able to pass, without damaging the road. And if there is a septic system on the road, I mean, that's the whole thing. If there is a septic,
There is no if.
it would damage the road, and then we couldn't approve such a way that would be damaged because there is a piece of private property underneath it.
Okay, so should we set a time frame? I don't know if.
But what I didn't say in any of that is that you need design of the septic system. What I did say is that you need an engineered design of the way with an engineer that says, whatever's under there is not going, the roadway is not going to be damaged, the improvement is not going to be damaged by traffic.
Not a problem, we'll do what we have to do,
Yeah.
but I can't, I'm not gonna, if they wanna, okay.
Yeah.
If
But
they
what
wanna
I
work
didn't
with us-
say in any of that is that they need a design of their septic system. You need to, I think the burden is on you for the.
No, that's fine, that's no problem.
You
We've
know,
already
design
submitted a
of-
plan, but if we have to file it as a definitive, that's not a problem.
Yeah, yeah.
And the owner's authorization part is all set, we sent you that, correct?
Yeah, I got all that, I
Just
gave
wanna make
them all
sure.
that, yeah.
Okay. just wanna make
Please,
sure.
I appreciate you guys being here.
Natasha, I'm Rollins.
I know.
I'm part owner of 98 Cranberry Meadow and I live at 68 Highland. I am concerned about the vehicle problem. We're still having problems with the lots he's previously sold, being able to get out, having them park in our driveways. There was just an incident with them dumping loom. And now on a dead-end road, that's one car length, and that's barely, especially if there's snow. Where are these vehicles gonna park? Because they're not parking in my empty lot or my turnaround. I'm out there constantly. I'm a surgical tech, so if I get called into work, I have to go immediately in. I can't wait around with somebody's life in my hand. I'm assisting a surgeon, and I can't get out because I have all these workers and vehicles and dump trucks, and they don't care. If you call the engine, they don't care. And that's not right for people that have lived there their whole lives.
Right.
He knew what this plot was when he bought it, didn't have all these other effects. And then he comes in, and the people that have lived here for 40 plus years, it doesn't matter the town. That's not an okay thing. You know, this land is being destroyed already. He's already destroyed swamplands and everything here. This is wetlands that just damaged. Now we have people that have problems with animals in their yards because the wildlife has nowhere to go. This was originally zoned as a wetland, and you guys have just allowed him to go in and bulldoze the whole neighborhood. And he doesn't even live in Charlton.
No, he lives in Millbury.
Exactly.
He
He's
doesn't-
not even a town member.
Marlboro.
Marlboro, way out there.
This,
Thank you, Natasha. Thank you. Please.
Darlene, most people know me here anyway. Darlene Rollins. I was wondering, this private little road, there's no way these big trucks can go down.
Right.
And how wide is this?
They're damaging our property
Yeah.
going by. There's trash everywhere
It's
from the
like-
building and
He doesn't,
destroying
I'm saying he
stuff.
doesn't care.
Not
Everybody
at
let
all.
him,
That's a joke.
in Charlton, just let him build on all the wetlands. I run a chicken food pantry now for 30 years. And I have over 130 families I feed. And most of them come in with stories about him. And I'm thinking, wait a minute, we're not the only ones that destroying
All over
wetlands.
Charlton.
And nobody can say no to him. And we're tired
This
of
is
it.
good money.
We really are. It's not fair.
not
Especially
And where
the
do you
top-
live? What was your property?
98 Shore Road.
Shore
Right next
Road.
to
98 Cranberry Meadow and 1
Cranberry
Drive.
Meadow Shore Road.
Yeah.
Get it right,
There's
they
two now,
changed
yeah.
the name.
Yeah, it's abuts
Just
Karen's.
like, no, nothing
It
serious.
abuts
He's over
that-
there laughing like
She
a child.
abuts
It's
my
just sad.
property.
Got it. Yeah.
Yeah, and the thing is, like,
It shows you
why
his character.
didn't he figure out how to get there when he first wanted that property?
Exactly. He walked through my property to go and look at the well and the septic without permission, because when I messaged him back to give him where it was, he's like, oh, I already went on your property
Yeah,
and looked.
look, yeah.
How did he get to this property?
We can't do that.
Probably, he did.
I have
Probably
no
through
trespassing
98
signs.
or
That's what
probably
you
through
gotta do,
68,
yeah.
which
Yeah.
are both mine.
No.
So how did he access this to go and even look at it with his
Hold on, Laura.
surveyors and stuff is what I'd like to know.
Right.
How is he accessing the
He's
property
made the
right
whole
now?
grove angry by doing
Because
going
if I
house
find
to
out it's
house
my
doing
property,
Yeah,
this.
it's not gonna be
thank
good.
you. I appreciate it.
His
Thank
town
you.
were very upset about
Anything
this.
else? No. Lori, Lori Beckman.
I just had a quick question. No one answered number one, because Mr. Hanson is not the owner of record. So I just want to be sure that he has authorization before we spend any more time on this project.
So there is something in the packet that states he has authorization from the current owner.
Okay, all right, I don't have that. Thank you.
That's it.
I do have a question. Why did we have to spend more time on it when he had plenty of time to get all his stuff together?
Over a year now.
Over a year, easy.
Yeah. So the planning department will require from him an engineered drawing of the way, the improvements to the way, because we're protecting the future of that way, that it has the ability to take traffic, especially emergency vehicle traffic. That's an outstanding item. And there's a couple of other outstanding items that we were looking at that have been summarized by planning and inspection.
Just to reiterate, I know I said he needs to submit a definitive subdivision plan, but just to clarify, the legal interpretation is submit a plan that you're imposing your subdivision rules and regulations that he can physically comply with. So again, it is not technically submitting a definitive subdivision plan, but it is a plan that should be looked just like a definitive subdivision plan and meet all the requirements that he can meet, and make sure that he's requesting all the waivers that he's requesting. And there might be, and what he should be doing, and the applicant should be doing, is waivers I'm requesting that I can meet, but I don't want to meet, and I'm asking for a waiver, and then a second column of, these are the waivers I need because I can't physically meet this because it's a road that predates subdivision rules and regulations.
Can I ask you a question? Shouldn't he be doing a title search on this property that he wants to build on?
Right, thank you for the question. So, if you have the commissioner's plan, I think we'll go through that as a sequence of events. You verified the ownership, I think it's, do you agree with escrow for engineers?
That's no problem. So what we'll do too is, like Kurt said, that once the planning board gets a look at that plan, it will go to the town council. money will be deposited for the escrow.
Yeah.
They will make sure that I've submitted everything that, title runs and everything else that would, give us the legal rights to do this project.
If the planning board would like to ask that the applicant provide a full title report of the property so that council can review that, the applicant may agree to do that. I don't know if you had a title exam done already on the property.
Yes, we have.
So you don't even have to pay for it.
Yep.
But you might want to just send it to me, and then I can get a definitive answer on rights. Now, again, what I've reviewed on title, it appears very clear that they do have rights under the derelict free statute, but just to nip it in the butt, if you want to forward us the total.
So you're looking
title
for the
exam.
entitle run, not just the cover sheet, is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay,
I can do that.
not a problem.
Yeah, if you could submit that
I'll just
through
send
the
it to
board to
everybody.
council.
Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
send, yeah.
Yep.
And I think what we're not gonna get is a design for the septic system, so what we're looking for is a review of your improvements of the way,
No problem.
design of the way,
Yep.
with an engineer that, as Kurt has mentioned, the assertion that the septic system is located and the grade changes, as well as any stormwater management for as close as it is to the foundation and so on.
Sure.
And you can do that without the septic, right? So
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll have him incorporate drainage.
Septic is right in the road, no matter how you get around
I
it, you're
have
never
one
going
more
around it.
question, please.
please.
Now, last meeting, I gave you a letter from Stevens and Son Septic System.
Yeah. Yeah. We agree that septic is there.
The septic is there,
It
And the
is-
residents
and
do.
it's
Because we
exists,
paid for them to
and
get
it's,
water, do
and
all
it's
that.
working.
You agree the septic is there? Yeah.
She says it's there, that's
Yeah.
what we're going by.
There's not no cesspool either, whatever he
Yeah,
says.
that's fine.
It's not.
So what we're going to do is design a way. He's going to design a way to see if it can withstand some voids that may be there. If there's a tank under there, then it's your engineer's burden to know that the tank is there and design a way that will support it.
The issue that comes with that, Bill, is that there's no, so if nothing's been done, usually the Board of Health will have records for the past 50 years. So if something, you're going back more than 50 years that
Yeah.
there's never been a Title V report, there's never been anything done there, so, I mean, I can't just go on a property and start digging up a yard looking for a septic system, there's no records. There's no records of where things are at, so in order for it to be protected, I think I need some due diligence on the part of the abutter so that I can make these plans to go around this, but I don't have any information. And I've submitted an email that to the Board of Health requesting any file
Right.
multiple times, and there's no file.
Doesn't
Yeah,
exist.
Andrew
Yeah,
has
around it.
nothing.
There's no file. In the past 50 years, nothing's been done there.
Right.
May I
Yeah, speak.
Yeah.
speak again,
Please.
please?
Please.
Okay, on my septic system. First of all, I don't need a Title V search. You only need that if
When
you're
you sell the
selling the
property.
property.
I
So-
believe your
Yeah.
title system exists.
And you can't go around it unless you
And
got
I'm
something
not
1
getting a
foot
Title
wide.
V done. I
No,
don't need to.
Didn't ask you to. We're not going to do that.
No.
Okay?
Okay.
Thank you. Excellent. I think we may run into
Okay.
an issue where we don't know what's under there. This is going to be the back and forth with council, and the building commissioner and the highway department and fire, is whether you can assure that the private way will support this, the improvement of the way will not be damaged with any emergency traffic.
They're saying they can't go with it.
My
And,
septic system.
and then the improvement has to have some responsibility. Who is responsible for the perpetual maintenance, grading, drainage?
Is that something that the DPW would want to, or is that something that could just be in the deed that the homeowner would be responsible for that ultimately, or?
No?
Yeah, that's part of the subdivision
Okay.
site plan.
No problem.
After escrows are made, then the town can consider taking sorry. Yeah.
Oops.
You guys probably have a list of Title V inspectors from the Board of Health, right? I'm sure you guys probably have something like that. Maybe it would be good to have something like that done, some sort of report. I mean, I really don't know what else to say, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
to see what's there.
We'll do the plan.
We'll do the plan and we'll just submit it, you know, so.
We'll bring that to you guys, and I'll get you that.
Going on the way out.
Yeah, he also has the other way he
Yeah.
can go out.
Yep, on the way out.
Yeah, that's the other decision. I don't know if that's been considered or if you want to review that
I
decision.
think what happens here, Bill, is that no matter what, you go through Middle Road, and I've looked at Middle Road, and actually a portion of a edge of a house is actually on Middle Road. So the developer probably didn't take in consideration that there was a right of way there.
Mhm.
So a portion of that is actually on the road. It's on the paper road. So,
Can we prove it? Yeah.
Prove it.
Right, guys, prove it.
We're gonna show the.
yeah, but it's
plan
not,
how
we're not gonna get in an
Yeah,
argument
we're
here.
not
We're
gonna
just
argue.
gonna send the plan in and we'll go from there.
I'm just asking for proof.
Yeah.
One question, too, Bob.
Please.
Ms. Hanson,
Yeah.
there's, how many lots will be serviced from this road?
Well, there's only gonna be
Just
one
one.
lot. There's a lot that's across the street that's there, but there's no way you'd be able to ever meet offsets with the wells and the septics because it gets really tight in there with all the existing.
Okay, so that'll probably be part of the agreement, the approval
Yeah,
if it happens.
absolutely, yeah.
Condition that only
Yeah.
this lot gets serviced
Correct.
on this road, okay.
I think that just going off of the commissioner's suggestions, that's our going forward plan from the board, but interested in other opinions on it.
So that number 88 owns that other piece that's on the other side of this roadway, way. So if they sell that and they sell that property, now how would that work? Because I don't know if they're, you know what I mean?
Well, I think the board is asking, would you agree to some sort of condition that says that that lot will be not buildable?
Okay. So, yeah, all right, so it's something I can talk, well, I don't really have control of that.
'Cause we-
Parcel.
You don't own that property?
We don't own.
I don't
that.
own
It's owned by
that
the
property.
same, it's owned by the same person that owns the current property.
Correct.
What-
I don't have ownership of that property, so I can't really say that the abutter will agree to that. I don't know
For future owners.
for future owners. But
So-
from what I see there, I've already talked to the owner about that, and I looked into it, had my engineer, and we looked at plotted septics that are already in the area. It's gonna be very hard to meet Title V regulations with that. So it's,
At the end of the day, if you do approve this, you are providing frontage to that lot, and that lot could become
Yeah,
buildable.
that's something
So
else the
that
board
is
needs to consider that.
It has to consider that, yeah.
All right. Good, thank you. We will continue until, how much time will,
what I'll do is I don't think we're gonna really have to set any timeline. I mean, I just file a definitive subdivision plan, put the money in escrow, and get the title run at the same time. I'll submit everything at one
Yeah.
time, definitive subdivision with the title run,
yeah,
and then we'll go from there. That way, everything's submitted at one time.
with the road improvement engineered,
Yeah, the plan, the
Yeah.
definitive subdivision paperwork with the requested waivers, the
Yeah.
plan to supplement it, and the title run all at one time.
and more design around the road. Is that in here already? Sorry.
No, we had talked about crushed gravel and.
Yeah, all we have is like the detail of 12-foot crushed stone. But if we could get more details around that, right, which we're requesting for, is this going to be able to support the traffic and emergency vehicles as well as a construction?
Yeah.
And no trespassing during construction and all of that.
Okay.
So a revised plan with
Yeah.
more details around the roadway that meets the highway department's comments and building.
So yeah, again, we'll
inspections.
try to show everything that we can show with what we're working with, because we only have 25 feet there, so
Yeah.
we'll try to show everything we can within that area.
It's something about with,
25.
maybe pressures, like what load pressure will be sustained by whatever your design is. to include emergency vehicles.
Okay, so you know how we dropped money, well, we already have some money for, is there some comments that Graves could make? Because a lot of these comments I may forget to be put on the plan, so if they could send some sort of an email maybe, I don't know, to have my engineer put that on, or just have my engineer put it on and then make revisions.
Well, I think that the answer to the question, and again, it's not technically a definitive subdivision plan, I just want to pick that clear.
Yes.
But it is a plan that should show it meeting all the subdivision rules and regulations. So the applicant's engineer should review the subdivision rules and regulations to see what they need to show in the plan.
Yeah, that would be the, that's
So yeah, show what we can meet, and then the waiver.
Yeah,
was-
and
okay,
then, and
waiver, yeah.
to your point, there's things that you can't meet because of the size and so on and so forth. Or, you know, sidewalks doesn't
Right.
really make sense for this and so on. So you just put that in the waiver, but make sure that it's explicitly noted that it's a waiver that you can't meet.
Mhm.
And then waivers that you can meet, but you are asking for a waiver, you should make that in a separate column.
Okay.
Correct.
Can I ask a question?
please.
So we're gonna be provided a plan, and are they gonna guess, kind of like assume what's under the ground and say, we're gonna build this road, assuming that, because they're not gonna be looking at what is under there, right? And they're not gonna, they're
Right.
gonna guess, and it might be over 50 years old, right, before I'm gonna say it.
Right.
So so we're gonna have a set of plans in front of us, and they're gonna say, we think it's this, and we think this road will protect it, we think. I mean, I don't know how an engineer could stand to say, no matter what's under the ground,
Yeah.
unless they put a bridge, right? I'm just, so, I don't want anybody to waste their time unless that's just how we're gonna do. Do you understand kind of what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
how am
yeah.
I gonna vote on a plan that's in front of me and they say, if this is under there,
Mm.
it could be, could not be, this will work. But how do we look at something like that?
I guess the counsel that I had was that the septic is private property, and so if that occurrence happens, then it's a private property claim
Yeah, I
in
would,
the future.
Mr. Chairman, I would just add to that. Number one, I think that an engineer who's going to stamp a plan should be able to understand if there's infrastructure there, and I don't think a engineer can stamp a plan if they know that there might be infrastructure under there and they don't note it on a plan. And this is obviously a topic that we can bring our peer review into, because there's different ways of figuring out if something's under the ground other than just asking the Board of Health one time around. So there's different ways that can be done, and I'm confident that between peer review and the applicant's engineer, they can figure out where it is and show it on the plan. So to your point, no, I don't think we should make a decision without knowing what's there.
So they'll do some sort of ultrasound, I'm sure there's a question.
Well, I
so
think,
much
I think the
to-
best thing's gonna be, is to not make any grade changes from the roadway to past maybe her property line, not make any grade changes. And if there's no grade changes there and it can still provide adequate access, septic will never be touched. We didn't change
Right.
anything, nothing's getting changed. If that may be the
But you're adding
resolution.
potential weight
Exactly.
of fire
Yeah.
equipment on that road that's not
So there's
suitable for it, so that's the
back
problem.
to-
So the
Now,
smoke
will a
detectors
fire
go
truck
off and a
have to
fire
go
truck
up
goes
that road?
Possible.
It's
Not
150
even a-
feet.
not even
There's
a
driveways
fire
that are
truck.
not
How about your heavy
long in
equipment?
Charlton, right?
How about your heavy equipment? That's the thing.
Exactly.
Your
Just
heavy
under
equipment,
construction, during
that's gonna
construction.
crush that septic system.
The
So
5
it being a
I don't
road,
care what
yes,
you say, you can't
fire
get
department
around
has
it.
to have access to
Okay.
it.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
my
Yeah,
smoke,
I hear
my,
you.
my smoke detectors go off, and we don't get to the, the alarm company in time, and they send the fire trucks right up my driveway.
Mhm.
So.
Yeah, could be anything.
So maybe then
Please.
for the abutter, if I'm willing to have somebody that's licensed, whatever with the town. I mean, we do septics, but that's a conflict of interest there, and have somebody maybe camera the system, find the dimensions so that we can mitigate the issue. She would have to give us the okay to do that.
That's what I'm kinda
That's something
asking
else
here.
that I'd be willing to do to mitigate the issue.
Yeah.
you know, that way there, we're not going back and forth. If it costs me $500 to have somebody go out there, we'll just take care of it. That way there, it puts this stuff to sleep.
Right, and the board can't really have an opinion on that,
Okay.
but that would seem reasonable, right? If you pay it, I don't think,
can pay.
I don't think the counterparty is gonna do that, but I think
That
it's
way
your
there, now
obligation.
at least the
Yeah.
board knows what's in
Yeah.
front of them. It's been
Right.
looked at and there's a report that's
We're
been
gonna
given
keep
to
with
the
that. We
board.
gotta, and
Right, and what I just said is, I don't think the counterparty's gonna do that. I think it would be
Okay.
burden of the applicant.
Oh, but I'm saying, I will pay for it.
That 10-4.
So if I pay for it and they
I don't
agree
want you
to
near
it,
my septic system.
So
I don't
why
want
should
you
she have
near
to
my
go
So,
septic
I mean, we have no, that would seem reasonable, but if you can't do it, it would seem like.
so we're just gonna submit the plans then.
I've already paid for somebody to come out with a camera.
camera
He
underneath.
says the 500-gallon tank, and it goes right across.
The
And
road.
let's not forget, the road goes about 2 feet from my front door. The minute
Exactly.
you walk out that front door, you're in the damn
Who's gonna wear
road.
laces back
Yeah.
Let's
there?
not
Plans
forget
are
that.
bizarre.
That's okay.
So it's not gonna happen.
It's difficult,
That's it.
it's private property, right, so the board, we can't really weigh, make an opinion on that.
Yeah, that's fine.
Just wanna put it out
No,
there that
we
we
just,
offered.
we put it out there, it's on the minutes now that we offered to do that. We've offered to figure a solution out for her at our cost, but, you know.
We already
nothing else
said
we
it's
can do.
theirs.
Without that, it might be difficult to get a stamp drawing or to have peer review accept such a drawing. That's all you would have to consider.
We'll discuss that with them.
Yeah, that's no problem.
And then, obviously, one of the conditions, when we get to the point where we're trying to make a decision would be perpetual maintenance, grading, drainage, stow, would have to be in the plan. Someone would have to commit to this perpetual maintenance of the way.
That's no issue.
Okay, thank you. So let us know when you're done. Just
Okay.
come on back. All right,
Yeah.
thank you. Thank you for coming in. I heard all of your concerns. You've done great, and thank you for presenting.
No.
Right, we
You
have
did
to,
well, and I hear you with the septic.
We have, it's a public hearing, so we have to have a continuing date. It could be
a month.
months out.
You want a
But
month,
we have to
month
have a date.
continuance?
What do you wanna say?
Yeah, well,
Thank
We can always
you.
continue it again after that.
yeah, so what I'll do is let's see where my engineer is, because they can get busy come spring,
Yeah.
so
Yep.
I'll
In
see,
writing.
you know
Well,
what I
we
mean?
need to, in this meeting, set a date.
Do you want the
Yeah,
first?
Let's just start with a month, and then
Yeah.
if not,
All
I
right,
can
so
just
the
send an email
calendar's right
requesting
here.
requesting continuance.
March 18 is a Wednesday?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
fine.
that's
Yeah,
Let's go
all
from
right.
there, and then
Thanks,
we'll,
Mr.
yeah.
Hanson.
I make a motion that we, continue this hearing until March 18th.
March 18th.
I'll second.
No work required on your part. Unless
We've
your
all that
attorney
time.
says otherwise, but
Please.
we're not telling you to do any more work or labor or spend money.
Well, that's what my attorney had told me.
Yep.
That the burden of proof is on him.
Yep, that's fine, yep. March 18th.
So we have a motion and a second?
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Should I lock that door again?
I motion.
Oh, no, it's not my name, it's
You need me for anything?
No. Good, thank you.
Thank you. So, we always have fun, interesting stuff to tell.
Should I lock that door that I opened? Should I lock it or leave it open?
Leave, just the middle one is great.
Yeah, that's just the middle one.
Just the middle one.
Leave it, sleep it open.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
middle. Nine.
Thank you, good night.
Good night. Let me just collect my stack, and then Mr. Hanson, I see an A and R for you.
I got, you wanna look at the paper? I'll let you wanna?
27 units in there. I'm just kidding.
What's that? 47?
47 units.
As long as there's enough
I'm gonna have parking underground, in a tunnel.
There you go. 10 stories high.
Yeah, you're gonna need a traffic study.
It gets tough once you get into those, man, it gets tough.
You said the 18th, right?
Yes, yep.
Yeah, sure.
Small
Now I
ones?
need to look at this map because the other one's too small for my own eyes, can't see it.
So it's, L. Stevens Road is just before L.
Thank you,
Stevens.
just for the file. Appreciate it.
No structures on the properties, no?
Nothing currently, it's just raw vacant land.
Lemansky's on one side, both sides.
Should be parking. I need parking.
Whereabouts is this?
This is on Main Street, so
Yeah.
L. Stevens Road goes down here, and this is
Okay.
another 45 Main Street development.
I
But
think
it's
that-
all
Yeah.
between L. Stevens and Main Street.
The old,
So it's these,
Okay,
there's a
just
big,
past that.
yep, so there's an open lot between, there's a house here, and then there's another property here.
Yeah, is that,
Yeah.
You know what?
yeah.
there is a
So
house.
there's an open
That's what I
spot
thought.
here.
Right near the post office.
That's what I think
What they're
they're
doing is
doing.
taking that,
I think it's the best
breaking
place
this
to
one
park.
lot off of this bigger
Is that what
piece.
they're saying?
So-
yeah, that's on him.
This bigger piece down here, they're breaking,
Yeah.
It's a
there's
fun
a
lot
lot
though,
here
but-
that we're just breaking into two.
Yeah, it is. There's nothing else to do.
Yeah.
75 feet of frontage.
Yes, it does meet the
Yeah,
frontage
yeah.
for Village District. I looked it up.
Motion to accept.
I make a motion that we accept the, I'm sorry, you can make a motion.
I would make the motion that we accept the subdivision of Main Street. Let's see,
A&R.
this A and R. On Main Street, we have 2 lots.
Motion,
Second?
second, all in favor?
Aye.
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 It's nice when they're almost square.
Just make sure we sign it and date it.
So just come back tomorrow, pick that up.
Take it
You
tonight.
can take it right now.
Oh, okay, we'll wait, yep.
Maybe they can lease it to the apartment complex on L. Stevens and they can use it for off-site parking. Just giving you ideas, if they need it.
Yeah,
I would.
with telecom.
Anything's for sale for price is right.
Yep.
This is ours, right?
Yeah, you take some out to the registry.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll send you the receipt, book it to you.
I've already been slapped. Thank you. Thank you.
He thought he might have ran over it.
Yeah, I would have heard about that too.
Yeah, I don't know. And it's dated?
He always did it once in a while.
Yeah.
Yep, all set.
Good. Thank you, Hanson.
No professional office at all.
I'll send you the receipt for that tomorrow.
There you go.
All right,
Thank you, good night.
Good night.
Have a good night.
8 o'clock, we have next on the agenda is a decommissioning bond for NextEra Energy, 261 North Sturbridge Road, and the applicant has requested to continue to February 18. So we have that in an email from Mr. Nolan. Our next piece of the agenda, thank you, James, our master plan discussion, and I appreciate all the homework that went into this. We have a good level of review and summaries.
Understanding
and
at this point.
Understanding, yeah.
Once we know what we're working with.
Thank you, Jane, for getting these to us. Don't know where to start on the review of the master plan, but assuming that everyone has had a chance to at least look at them. We can start our review. We don't have to make a decision, but I'll leave it up to the board to
Does anybody
get things
need-
started.
Yeah,
Probably,
do you-
Yeah.
please. So there was,
Yeah, oh, you have
in one of those
Yeah.
things, there's a discussion, a planning board discussion slide deck that could maybe
Where's that from?
facility
Yeah.
the
Was
process
it that you,
we
that you
do.
sent?
That I sent out.
Did you
So,
get, is that?
I'm not sure
that's
if
one?
anybody
You
saw
need
it.
one
That's,
too.
yes, that's one of them.
Patsy got one and,
Okay.
Bob.
Okay. These are, oh,
These are the
okay.
same, right?
Oh, you've got, so who doesn't, I've got this. That is what I'm saying.
Pass that out.
Yeah, thank you, Donna. Thanks for doing that work. I know
So,
Patsy
you
did some
put
work.
this together then?
Yes.
Thank you, guys.
Good night, thanks.
Yes, yes, yes.
And I have Patsy's too.
Okay.
So let's do,
Okay, you wanna, yep, are they all in here?
Patsy's is right here.
Okay.
So I'll pass
Yep.
it this
Mine
way.
isn't that fancy.
Yeah, well,
3 this way.
I got more time on my hands.
Your 2.
Really quite lovely.
Okay.
You're like, I'm gonna play with the PowerPoint.
So you've got, I mean, you've got the, basically the same sheet that I have on the back of my head.
Yeah, Don, you want to walk us through your presentation? and then
Um, Yeah, so there's actually a
The deck.
couple here. So the first deck kind of goes across and looks at the 8 different, and I included CMPRC in here.
Yeah, I'll
Just
get that
because
done
we did have a
tomorrow.
proposal from them at one point, so I might as well throw that in here
I'll get
and
you
look
that
at it.
tomorrow.
Kind of a summary of who the proposers are, so if you looked at, let's go through the first sheet. Second slide, just kind of an overview of what I tried to do with this deck. Kind of a line information. The summary of the proposals differences, so it gives a little bit of comparison between the companies and where their strong points are in each and kind of where their businesses lie.
And just to be clear, CMRPC did not submit
They didn't? Yeah, but
they
we
did-
can include them, I asked Ian.
their previous
Yes, so I will get everybody.
Since their previous submission included everything that these would be doing up through the final plan,
Yep.
but a higher price, it was,
We can
we
include
can
it.
include
Yep,
it.
I made sure.
I didn't think about that. I should have put them on the list,
Yeah.
but.
If he says
So,
so.
I
Yeah,
did
he
add
did.
them just for
I'll get everybody.
for comparison
All right,
reasons.
all right, thank
Get
you.
that
Just
out.
wanted
I
to-
think this is the deck that they're in.
And Andrew
I think
made
I
that
sent you the right
call,
deck.
basically, if it
I had done a
fits
couple of
within
them, so-
the requirements.
Yep,
we
I
can
asked him.
consider it. Okay, thanks.
So this is, actually, this isn't my latest one that I sent. Oh, sorry, confuse you. This one does not have, is this the one I sent out today?
That's all.
Okay, okay. So there is another deck. Oh, wait a minute.
Am I missing
Yep,
something?
yep.
Two of them in there?
Nope, I think it's, yeah, it's actually, the updated one is in the back, and it's not as,
This is a
it's
separate.
not as pretty.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Good.
So,
Yeah.
this second, there's actually 3 decks in here,
Okay.
okay? You got the first deck, it's just a comparison of everything except for CMPRC. The second one is kind of a flow to go through and deciding and what needs to happen, and we can look at that or not. But the main deck that includes CMPRC is on the back. I think that first one was missing something, so I apologize. I sent out one the other day, and I did one the other day, and I realized I had left something off of it.
Got it.
So,
Now I wonder if our
now
scores,
it's, unfortunately,
But it's okay, we can,
I gotta apologize. I don't think this is my latest stuff, so.
But we at least have
No.
your review
I
of the
need
ones
that
that
on
are
it.
there.
Yep,
so ours, we are like,
yeah,
our ratings are very similar.
Yep, very close.
yeah.
Like your top 3 are the same top 3.
Yep.
I think that,
Yep.
you have Barrett a little,
So,
Higher than
yes, in this,
one.
you don't have CMPRC in there either, and for some reason, I think I sent you the wrong decks. I screwed up.
was CMRPC up at the, like in the top 3
Yep.
years? I mean, it
Um,
makes sense.
it was, I actually had them up in the top 3. I think it was Barrett, BHP, and CMPRC were the 3 that I found Ty and Bond was a close one in there too.
Yeah.
Um,
All right.
Yeah,
so
if you
it's
look-
kind of,
see, mine like lines up right with yours. I mean, maybe there's like a few numbers, like
Yep,
if you look
yeah.
at what it's, the ratings are incredibly close.
That's what I saw too. The top three are like, decimal points away.
Yeah.
Like they're
Yeah.
very close.
Yeah.
So. And if you include CMRPC, when you guys went through the review, do you remember CMRPC is?
Yeah, I mean, they're gonna
Pretty-
be up, they're
Yeah.
gonna probably knock, the
IMEG.
the IMEG up. The Old Runner is the weirdest name ever. It's like,
Yeah.
but yeah, I think
Same
that,
thing.
I bet you that CMRPC would be up there with VHB and Barrett, and then
Mhm.
the best case scenario would be to bring those, to have a list of questions, either to email them and have them answer, or bring them
Yep.
in for an interview with those three.
Yep.
Because
Yeah.
3 is manageable.
Yep.
And
And it-
if that's what we
Yeah.
can at least decide tonight, then that's a much, we're much
Yeah,
closer to getting.
First
Yeah.
pass, basically.
if you look at VHB is a huge company.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
for them to handle this kind of work with other
Mhm.
other people within their firm, it doesn't seem like something that might overload them.
Yeah.
And they helped with
I was
the
concerned with
2008.
CMPRC being so small that where do we fit into their schedule? How much attention would we get through them?
Mhm.
Ty and Bond was another pretty large one, and
What did I have for?
and Barrett is I like Barrett because of more of a small business feel, but they had a lot of experience
Mhm.
doing this.
Yeah, good
They pulled
references,
in.
testimonies.
Yeah, who did they pull in? They pulled in somebody else to help them out with some of
Dodson and Plinkin.
Dobson, yes, Dobson. So, which I think they submitted something.
Originally.
Yes. Yeah. So Barrett and Dobson and. Yeah.
Well, to be truthful with you, I have not read VHB's yet, that's the only one I
Okay.
had. But I was pretty much the same, until then, I thought Barrett was on top. I was impressed
As
with
you said last
Mm.
time.
Yeah.
And IMEG too. I'll go home and finish reading VHB, but,
Yeah, I mean, I like the scoring matrix that, the weighting that you guys put into it,
Yeah,
especially,
and
the
it's
public
pretty
engagement.
great that we're on the same
Yeah.
page.
Yep.
If we weren't, then we realize,
Yeah,
great,
yeah.
but we use pretty much the
Yeah.
same engagement and local experiment, the only,
Jay, this might have been the ones I sent out the other day. I think I sent out a couple new ones today, and I think those were the ones that had the
No
updated
problem.
data. So
Yeah.
I think I sent that to everybody, so they have
Yeah,
copies
I'll
of this.
give them out.
Yeah, that's
And
no
plus I
problem.
gotta get CMRPC, I might have copies of it.
Right. So what do you want to take from this meeting? Do you want to narrow down the list a little bit and then fire
Well, I think
off
some people are just
questions?
getting the information.
Okay.
Yeah.
You didn't have the
I
information.
haven't looked at it.
She hasn't
Yeah.
looked at anything
Okay.
yet, so I don't think we can make any
we don't
decisions
wanna,
tonight.
we don't wanna come up with the top, we don't
I
wanna
don't think
come up
we-
with the top 3 yet.
I don't think we can do that yet
Alright.
without her
Are we
reviewing
gonna be able
anything.
to, use this and additive with this method, I mean,
Well, I
UH?
We have, you have to fill that out.
Yes.
For Andrew.
That-
yes.
Okay,
yes, so
that-
that'll
Like,
have
I
to
need
be
those
filled
back
out
and then
Andrew,
Andrew
yes.
does.
So how
Exactly.
does,
What is, what is,
Andrew has to get these for each one.
For each one, Jane.
For each
All right,
one.
All right, gotcha.
okay, so
Yep.
you're gonna
Oh.
give that, is that, do I have a pack of that?
Did you get a packet?
No,
It's yours.
oh, perfect.
There you
Does
go.
he need one from each member or one from the board?
One from each member.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, you need to make sure that it was done in a
Yeah.
fair
Oh,
process.
Each member,
All right.
each,
Good to know.
Yeah.
Thank you for
okay,
mentioning
will
that.
work.
Yeah.
Each-
yeah, yeah.
So
I
if
may
I
need
knew,
more
if I knew
sheets,
about
made
this, I
notes on
wouldn't
it.
have had to make this, but no.
All right, so
My
HA
bad.
is
Can you
highly
see that?
advantageous, advantageous, not advantageous, and unacceptable. And so
So,
we are, how would you fill this out? Would you put a numerical?
Check mark?
A check mark.
Just a check in each one?
It's a big box for a check.
I mean, because imagine
Okay.
if we do a check mark,
Put a check.
There you go.
we
It's got all
could,
filled out.
we could, technically, I mean, anything 4 and up is probably gonna be an HA, right? And is that what we're,
Yeah, so his, or this,
I think I'm just gonna go by this. I like that way of thinking about it.
because what it
You
doesn't,
know,
it
it's
just rules people
acceptable.
out, it just
If you
rules
really
people
want
out,
it,
right?
And
Did,
it's
um,
okay, no, it's not
so
gonna be
he
okay.
gave us
or-
this criteria and it's not editable.
This is
Like,
good.
we should just accept this.
Yes,
Yeah.
he wants that.
Okay,
I
Okay.
like
that's
it.
fine.
We won't add any more.
No, no,
Just-
that's
just
what he
check.
wants, yeah.
And it's, because none of them were bad, I mean, the lowest score that I have is a 3.
Yeah, I mean, I think all of them were capable. It was
Right,
just,
I mean,
you know,
if you're
what was.
scoring,
Yep.
if you're scoring 1
Yeah.
to 5, a 3 is just average, so it would still fall into the acceptable. So pretty much,
Yeah,
Or rather,
they
much-
could all have equal weightings here, but different weighting because you have different
so
criteria.
he wants that, but if we,
Right, which
you
is a
understand
different
the
thing.
state, so this is,
Does he want them numbered 1
this,
through
this is,
8 or?
this is,
you know,
this is a
7?
procurement law, right? We have to
Yeah.
prove that it's, we're fairly choosing, right? We need to have,
Right.
so this is only evidence that if we ever get audited,
Right.
that there was fair criteria. So it- this is just a format that the town happens to have. You could, we could use, Dawn's or mine to be, it is actually even stronger of evidence, just
It
so
is.
you know, like this might be the town's policy, so maybe we'd have to just
Right,
fill
right.
them out anyways.
Yep,
But you,
right.
you know what I'm
s-
saying,
And he
like,
said, let's pick the top 3 too.
yeah, that's what it's like, that's what normally
Yeah.
happens, you pick the top 3 and then
And
it
then-
asks them, interview or
Right.
questions
Yep.
or.
And I think if you look at this criteria on the legal page, the second row down is the ability to meet the requirements and specific requirements in the RFP. Now, that block right there is your whole matrix, like this is how
That-
we're going to
yes, in other
evaluate
words,
where
right.
they meet the
how do I
requirements.
weight that category?
But all we have to do for each one of them, say,
check,
yeah,
check.
are they advantageous or not?
I mean, in
But-
reality, I mean, I could go for the top 3 on mine and go HA all the way
Yeah,
down, you know,
yeah,
because they are. I mean, if you're a 4, you're pretty darn good. 5
Yeah.
means you're excelling.
yeah.
Right.
Maybe we go through our detail of the general requirements and specific requirements first, and then we fill this
Then we
out.
put it off into
because-
that,
Yeah,
once
because
you've
we
got
don't
them all.
wanna conflict our final result with what we've submitted.
When I used to run these scoring, I used to make people come
Tell
up
you
with
what, I'm gonna have a
comments for
working copy of it.
every single check mark or every single scoring,
You
and
know?
they hated that.
Yeah.
But we don't have to do that, so that's a huge
Working
thing.
copy.
Right.
Yeah.
But really, to look at things in terms of, is this highly advantageous? Just okay?
Yeah.
You know, looking at it that way, it's helpful for somebody who's a layman to look
Yeah.
at it that way, and then to
Right,
expand the categories this way with all these numbers, you know. In other words, I can't really, well, we're sort of back and forth, because I can't judge some of this stuff without going into much greater detail.
Yep.
And probably
Right.
asking questions.
And you couldn't,
Right.
some
I
of these,
agree with
I
you.
couldn't even judge until I read a few.
Yeah.
I'm like, is this,
Mhm.
is this what average is? Like, is this
Yeah.
what we expect,
Yeah,
right?
that's
So you
true.
don't even know what you normally see.
For me, a lot of it came down to experience and what they worked on and what towns they've done and how much they've done this before, right?
Right,
Really-
and
really some of
definitely
this
how,
stuff
what
more
their
than others.
plan was for sort of that public engagement was like, that was heavy for me.
right.
Yep.
And I weighted it, like,
Yep.
the implementation approach,
Mm.
I mean, again, you see how I weighted it. In my mind, it
Mhm.
all made sense when I did it.
Yeah.
Like, I could be talked out of changing
Mm.
the how it was
Right.
weighted.
Don, did yours come up with a weighting by
It
number?
did to a point, I'm not sure I included that in the slides, but some of the analysis
Yeah.
I did have that in there.
Like,
but there-
what's most important, I mean, like my most was how you're gonna sell it, that whole implementation. Is it gonna be organized, or are we gonna be a mess? But again, it was when I sat down and I
Right.
went, what criteria? In my mind, it was that that doesn't mean I'm necessarily right with that weighting.
I think public engagement, right, it's hard, it's public engagement, more weight than implementation approach.
Like, to me, implementation was, is it gonna get done? Like, how are you gonna, what's your plan and your goal, and again, tomorrow, like, what
Implementation
can I-
approach of the
Don't give us that.
deliverable,
Yep.
basically, is all we're asking, not the implementation of the master plan, not just the deliverable itself.
I have a question, because one of the things I was looking at is some of these proposals being out of the state, were they really up onto what we were
That's
doing in that?
understanding.
Yep.
And
Yep.
that's,
Yep.
I
Yep.
come
Some
up with a rating
understanding of that,
system when
yeah.
I was doing it,
Mhm.
and I'll be truthful, there's one book in there, two books I haven't read yet. I've been doing them as I go along, but, you know, like somebody that's, every major project they've been done, except maybe one or two, has been in Connecticut or something like that.
Yep, we're down under.
There you
I
go.
considered that, I don't know if I was right in
Nope,
doing
I-
it or
that's-
not.
That's understanding
Yeah.
of Charlton,
And we have to
20%.
consider
Yeah,
what
should
the
have
state
been-
is
Mass state
all our
laws too.
unfunded
Yeah,
mandates.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I saw very few that, where they had
Right.
done something in the state of Mass.
Right.
And some
Yeah.
of the lower scores
And
are
that's
just because
weighted,
of the way
okay.
they presented it too, like, they didn't add enough details to kind of make the judgment, so they got scored lower, so,
Right.
but anyway, so.
So I think that just, I don't think we can make a decision.
So we go home,
Yeah.
and
But I think that's
next week we come with our top, with
Yep.
these filled out
Yep,
and our top grade.
that sounds good.
Let me just think about this. I was thinking we do this last and kind of fill out this matrix first in order to, I don't know, does it matter?
I think it's a personal preference, whatever works
Yeah.
for
All right.
whoever.
Okay.
And how
Because
how you
these-
get there,
we're
I
not
don't think
supposed
that
to-
matters as much.
All right.
We're
I'm
not-
wondering
I
if
just
would
don't
matter
want it
because
to-
there's no rules on how you rate it.
Nope.
You know, they would
No,
give you,
it's-
there's no
it's-
instructions, I guess,
So
is what
you
I'm saying.
can also,
It's true. No, it's
Wait a
true.
minute, I
It's
don't,
true.
you
Yep,
know.
there's
yep,
nothing
yep.
saying.
These
Yeah.
these-
So,
There's
this
nothing
is-
saying we can't do this together.
I was looking at this.
There's
This
nothing
is-
saying we can't have a
Right.
working session, and we
Right.
all sit at the same table and says, say, all right, we all read them, what do you think?
Right.
And we,
Right.
we,
That's not a bad idea.
there's nothing saying that we can't do that, or we do them separately, and, I mean, I think at the end of the day, we're all gonna have similar ones,
Mhm.
we're all looking at the same criteria, and we're all looking at the, I mean, there might be a few little
Yep.
percentages, but we're not gonna, one of us isn't gonna give it a U, and one of, you know what I'm saying,
Yep.
it's not
Yep.
gonna be that.
Man, it's tough. They're all capable.
Yeah.
They're all big.
I said, what's just best for
professional
us, like, the
firms.
whole, that is, what's
It
gonna.
comes down to personal preference for childhood. So the slides deck, I sent it to everybody yesterday. The ones I had sent to you before were incomplete. It was, I had noticed I had left Weston off of there and I left CMPC off there by mistake, so.
So what,
But everybody has a copy of it. Take a look at it and it might help you out.
one of yours down had housing and econ, so tell me, what do you, what are
Well,
the
some of them
scores?
were more geared towards development and housing development and you know,
Pulling that out
pulling
of
that out of
the town's
Yeah,
people or
yeah.
whatever, and making a study.
and that was kind of
Okay.
a lot of what their work had been
Right.
focused on
Right.
previously. Not just the master plan stuff,
Right.
but
Maybe we add that, Patsy, to your as a criterion.
If it's-
You know, housing,
if it's important to the
Economic
town.
development and
Yeah.
stuff.
economic development, and do we mean like commercial?
Yeah, I think that a lot of that was part of it.
Right.
Yeah.
Consider commercial in this whole thing. And maybe Patsy, that's in your implementation approach, maybe that's kinda what you.
And I find myself wondering too, I'm sorry, were you about to say something, Patsy?
Maybe I need to, the implementation overall big picture in my mind was their whole kind of plan as it, that, you know, the meetings and everything kind of like that, they're implementing the whole project over
Yeah.
versus like having a detailed schedule and deliverables, meaning this date, this date, this date, and we're gonna stick by a schedule.
Yeah.
Again, this is an auditor's mind and but we definitely can add the housing and economic development
Yeah.
piece. It makes sense. that will be their experience,
Yeah.
looking at,
And their understanding
Housing.
of Charlton,
well, that's what the understanding of Charlton is sort of mixed in
Yeah.
with that, so.
yeah. That's like balancing residential, commercial needs, keeping it pastoral, all that stuff.
So do we wanna change like understanding of Charlton, kind of like to the stated, like a like town experience or something like that, is.
Sure, yeah,
Yours-
similar
yours is-
town.
Yours is mass experience, but that's the same kind of deal, right? You
Yep.
didn't- You're not,
Yep.
if they did the city of Boston.
Right, right.
That they didn't.
Much
fall-
different than Charlton.
Yeah.
Do you have a
Cambridge is-
category, I'm sorry,
Go ahead.
that addresses how we're gonna be dealing with Massachusetts big plans for us, like this? I went to the Zoom thing that CMPRC had for the Massachusetts Integrated Land Use Strategy.
Mm.
They're definitely going to be telling us as much as possible as towns, the state is going to be, Commonwealth will be telling us what portions of our land we're supposed to be using for what, and wondering
Yeah.
what kind of, in what way we can, these, can help us
Consider that.
navigate that.
Well, we're gonna have to change the whole permitting process for solar within the town hall, so it's something that we're gonna need to get together with other Concom and building and water and sewer and get one application process in there. And those were
Yeah.
slides I sent out today, some other stuff with that information, but let's not confuse things
That's
here.
interesting.
So-
Stuff that relates to that.
Things that, you know,
Interdepartment.
what we do now, what needs to happen, and how do we get there, so that's for another discussion. Maybe we put that on for next week
Yeah.
or something, but I think we need to get started. I think Kurt needs to be here too, and
Yeah,
we
he's
need to, yeah.
What would you
And I think I sent that out to everybody too.
And that's
I
just
have way too
for,
much time on my hands these days.
that's just for solar battery?
So that was, implications for Charlton's permitting for, one permits,
solar battery
energy,
storage.
Yeah,
energy permitting.
renewables in general or something, okay. Anyway, I was just trying to maybe sharpen up the scoring methodology and the weighting, not that.
And maybe define the
Yeah.
categories.
Yeah,
Maybe,
Yeah.
I do have that somewhere, so and now that I think about it, some of these could be confusing, and again, in my mind, it was perfectly sharp, so.
When you're
When I was
writing
doing
this,
it, I was
yeah.
like, this is exactly how to do it. So let's combine some of this, like, the similar town experience versus understanding Charlton was really, kind of like, the
similar kind of experience, you mean
Yeah.
like testimonies
Yeah,
are
yeah,
relevant?
one of them was more like state level bylaws, and the other one was
Yeah.
more like, you know, Charlton, Oxford,
Yeah.
like our towns like us.
Yeah.
So the understanding really has to do with more of the Massachusetts piece.
So understanding Charlton and
Charlton's
mass
challenges.
Yeah, and-
regulations.
And then this, so let's just define this a little better. We'll
Yeah.
turn one of them into, understanding the state and,
Mass
our
regs.
Understanding mass
mass reg.
planning, yes.
Regs, yeah.
And we'll do the similar town,
Similar town experience and testimonies, I think, like who else did we do?
we'll keep public engagement, we want that,
Yeah.
team and capacity still, the schedule and, detailed deliverables,
Yeah.
I'd like to see that, cause I wanna hold them up, you said it would be done in a month,
Right.
it's a month,
Yeah.
right?
So then maybe implementation approach, maybe we unpack that a little bit.
I'm not sure that, I think that might be,
And that was, again,
Difficult.
their plan kind of, everything sort of, it's like the whole big picture, and maybe that's not fair.
Maybe that's Don's design and implementation, like those two
Yeah,
that are
yeah.
kind of
The implementation, I think you had,
approach.
schedules, deliverables, and implementation approach. I broke it down into, town meeting, how do they fit into the town meeting, how do they do their outreach, how do they do their.
should we add one for housing and economic development? What did we say about that? That's a new category that we should give some points to?
What I did is I think I just broke down the strengths in those areas with each group and kind of explained what each company's strength and weaknesses were is kind of what I did. So they're all a little bit different depending on what priorities Charlton has.
Yeah, so housing, economic development, and like you said, market realism considerations in the plan, and maybe, I know at the moment this may be more than 100%, but maybe give that 10%, you know?
And this is based entirely on what we read in these as opposed to any other knowledge of the company. With
Yeah,
this
yeah.
possible
And,
exception of
and you know, you can even
PHP, right?
use those pieces within the analysis of everything else that you do there. I'm not sure you really need to break it out,
Yeah.
but I mean, it's just something to consider as you're going through
Right.
here, looking at public engagement, how does that fit in deliverables, implementation, and things like that.
Yeah, I think, I mean, my big mistake here was not defining the categories, better and that.
Yep, but it made sense to you.
Yeah.
I think it makes sense.
Yeah, I
you
mean,
know,
it's
you can't break everything out
And
of
at
it.
the end of the day, you know, if you put them all together, it's the whole entire plan. So then, I don't think anything like the weighted total numbers are gonna change at all. It's just gonna, be, you know, some different.
Right. Yeah, that's true. Mathematically, do these need to add up to 100% done? Like, it could be over 100, like, if we just added housing, economic development.
Well, we just changed the
consideration.
percentage, we
Yeah,
changed the
yeah,
weight
right,
and the,
just
and the-
trying to give that, whatever, 10 points or whatever it is. Okay. And then implementation. So do you want to come back next week, having read this, and have a bit of a working session, or if it's not filled out, if you don't come in with it filled out, we can just talk about it here and fill it out, and maybe we could we get to a filled out matrix like Patsy's and Don's
I
at the
think
next
that's a
meeting?
good idea,
At
and
the
if you
end
wanna
of
just
the
send
year?
out a blank Excel spreadsheet or however you
Yeah,
do
let me,
this,
and it, we'll do that.
we can use
and-
that, we can all use the same
Yeah.
rubric and.
Right.
We'll, yeah, so we'll
I think that's
define these
important.
categories, so you, like, you have your category, like,
Nope, I think yours
small
is fine.
town expertise,
Yeah,
control,
yeah,
but
and-
we'll tweak these, and then
and
we'll
it fits into
define,
those.
right,
Yeah, I
define
think-
them,
yeah.
so you better, and we'll
That
go
would
from
help,
there, and
right.
then we can all.
Yeah.
You can use your categories, but his is prettier.
Yeah, yeah, and like I said, unfortunately, this is
that-
lacking
that's fine.
data,
That's
so
good. I
you
appreciate
guys
it.
all have the deck.
And
I
you'll
also
send me-
included
you'll
a,
send me the, CMR.
I'm gonna look up there, cause I think I might have one for you.
Do we have they have an electronic, right?
CMRPC
Yeah, did they send us a proposal electronically
from back then, I'll look,
when they originally sent it?
I'm not sure.
Not the old master plan, no, or anything like that,
No,
but
no,
like
the
their proposal.
CMRPC, right, I'll look.
Yeah.
I'll go-
It might be on.
This one?
Yeah.
This is the previous one that they sent.
Yeah, and I'll get a copy of that before you leave.
so I also sent out a slide deck for select board briefing. Now that we've got these,
I
we
saw
wanna
that,
send
yep.
something out to the select board saying, hey, these are the ones that we're evaluating, this is the
We don't
criteria
really-
that we're using.
It's not the select board, it would be Andrew.
Yeah, we
It would
only,
be in-
all we
So,
have to
for
do
Andrew.
is say,
Yeah.
this is who we decided, and this is
Yeah,
why we
the select board
decided,
on-
and
Yep.
that's it.
Yeah.
They don't have any say over who we picked at all.
So do you wanna send that off to this, he has all this information though, so I'm not sure we need to do it then, cause he's got,
He has
yeah,
everything.
okay.
He's just waiting for
He
this.
wants this,
Yeah,
okay.
he's just, that's what he's reading.
You know, it dots his eye, right?
Right,
So we can
yeah.
put it, so we can
Audit
say,
traceability.
we did it legally, and,
Yeah, yeah.
and there was no bias, nobody hired their cousin.
Right. And then, how about questions, further questions for these applicants?
I think that once we get down, I think
Yeah.
next meeting, we should come with, these are our top three, and these are the questions we wanna ask our top, we
Okay.
should all come with
Yep.
that, come
Yep.
prepared to,
Right.
and then we can,
Yeah.
figure out
Okay.
if we want them to come in and interview,
Yeah.
or we let them write answers to their questions.
Yeah,
Because sometimes you get a warm fuzzy feeling when you have them in the room, you're like, we really would love to work with these guys, right?
Yep.
And it
Yep.
does make a difference, even though it's a pain in the butt for them to come in, but
They would love to come in, I bet.
but it works better than Zoom.
Yeah.
Well, you think about it, reading something, and yeah, I like this and that, right? And then you come in because you wrote it, and you could explain it.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got a
Well,
completely
you need
different
to have-
idea.
you need to have
I
both,
mean, a
because-
different feeling, because
Absolutely.
I wasn't thinking of what you were thinking about, and that's the good part. This is why we're discussing all this.
Yep.
Right, and you need both, because sometimes people are really good at talking, and the whole point is putting it down on paper.
Yeah.
Like, we want everything on a master plan, we want it now, so,
Absolutely.
so that
And
it's
who
full.
do we want to be able to understand what's going on, you know? Who
Well,
do we
and
want involved?
it's-
Who's the audience?
They need to be able to
And
talk to us.
As broad as we can make it,
Right.
essentially.
Yeah. All right, so read through it and we'll come back, and at the end of next meeting, we'll be able to fill out a matrix such as this, and maybe we still have some outstanding questions.
And yeah, just give me, I can probably do this, I'm taking Friday off, so I can probably sit and just put something together on Friday.
Yep, excellent.
Because if
I mean,
don't
I
take
think you,
vacation time, I'm gonna lose it.
Sure you want to commit to that?
Burn time. All right.
as I say, what you have there, I think is pretty close anyways. I don't
Yeah.
think you have to go too much further than that. It all
Let's
fits
give
in
you the
with
Excel
those.
with the
Yeah.
formulas, that have that week, those crazy weedy formulas, my favorite thing to do in the whole world. I'm like, man, can I just design spreadsheets for fun?
I know, that's a
We
good.
have pull downs too, so we don't have to like type anything in, we just.
You can just add the numbers.
All right. Lori, did you have anything on the comments on the master plan stuff?
Just that the number one thing I looked at was the principal's experience. Like Gorman, lots of experience, but most of his was real estate, and his staff was property management, and then more targeted projects like village centers versus the whole master plan. So I went through with that, number one, and to see if they actually dedicated staff. Like we know who's going to be working on it. They're not going to give us a handful of young college interns over the summer. We're paying for, the best people we can get. So that's what I was looking at. But thank you.
Did your scoring come close to what we sent out?
Absolutely. It's so funny. Barrett was my top because they were small, and for their sub, they had someone from Florence, which is Northampton. So they're familiar with smaller towns. They didn't take on bridges like Weston and Sampson did our highway bar. Great project managers, but this almost seems beneath them. So we may not get the meat of their staff that this is what they love to do.
Some of these firms seem more engineering-ish than planning-ish.
Right, they have a template, and they gotta fill in the blanks, and we really want someone who will get to know us and work with us. And that's why I think VHB, because they've done it before, but 12, 15 years ago now, how long has it been? Since the last one, we're much different. The town is much different, but they've said they have but I still, I liked Barrett last time, and I liked them this, I think, I
Those are probably my top two. I think seeing BRC was a close thing just because of how familiar they are with Charlton and they've been working with us for a long time. I think so.
All right. Thank you.
But we'll put
One
it
of the
together.
things I looked at too is looking at the qualifications and where the thing was from. And, you want somebody that's, I'm looking for somebody that's in the state of Massachusetts that's been here this is me personally, this is what I was looking at. It's been there a long time, that is, and I was looking at the list of what towns they would work with and what they have and what they were trying to do.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
And I think that's what we want for this town. We don't want to be stereotyped or anything, but we want something that's going to put the town in a better position for everything they're doing and make it more desirable. So next time somebody has to do this, it may be easier for
You're
them.
supposed to, every decision you make in this town is supposed to be weighed against the master plan. Like, it's an important document. So,
Yes.
right, so.
It's your mission
um,
statement-ish,
Right,
you know?
so it is truly, supposed, it's supposed to be, at 100%. You're supposed to, get creative people in a room, like, the village district. I remember having that discussion and how exciting, remember some of the
Yeah.
write-ups? Were you on the?
Yeah.
Remember how
Working with
pretty,
Alan
like,
way
we
back.
had, like, how beautiful it was gonna be. And now I'm like, man,
Walkable,
right,
like, coffee
like
shops,
coffee
ice
shops
cream
and
shops.
bakeries. And the kids would come from sports and go
Yeah.
down and get, I mean, now they go
Used
to
baseball gloves
Dunkin's.
for sale in the
It was a
little
great,
retail market.
it was a great dream, but
Yeah,
you just
but
you
it
can't
just
you
didn't-
can't
it
force
just-
that. I mean, with anything zoning, you can't
we-
force what you want in some
Right,
place. It just doesn't. It's
and it, rent is so high, how do you open a little shop
Yeah,
down
yeah.
there, even for the small, like, it's just, sometimes it's
Right.
reality and.
yeah,
and the-
strip malls are out. You can't put little shops down there and.
and we'll always have those two pizza shops, we're known, people come, they're like, wow, Charlton has pizza shops just.
Across the street from
they're-
each other.
They're 20 feet apart, like, you guys really like.
And you got
pizza.
loyal
So-
customers for
Right,
both
like
of
both
them.
of them,
Yeah,
right,
I
so,
know, yeah.
it's, and it's those silly things, but, so, yeah, I need to get that, I'm like, village district, but it's still, once we have the sidewalks,
Yeah. It doesn't do any harm to still have it zoned as such,
Yeah.
so, yeah. Anyway, good, thank you. Master plan discussion, on to the other piece of the agenda,
But there's
other,
more, geez.
other business unknown at time of posting. We do have to review some minutes, but I'll wait on that for a moment. Lori, we wanted to maybe hear from you briefly on some of the Climate Act and energy siting reforms.
Oh joy, are you sick of it? I'm sick of it.
10 minutes, Lori.
We know you're not, come on, we know you are.
Thank you
Well,
for
it's,
briefing us.
well, I put together another letter after speaking at both hearings on Monday. The sticking point was cumulative impact analysis. They did change their mind. I clarified it at the meeting and are allowing, or saying every project has to provide us with a community impact analysis and site assignment. But it goes directly to the state and we can't alter it. So what good is it if the information contained is wrong, or we're the best people that know the history. So I asked about that, and then the criteria for small towns was completely missing. They had things that they monitor in the city. So even the Mass Audubon was questioning no teeth in that we all have wells out here and runoff issues. They weren't dealing with the environment enough. So I asked for 5 criteria to be added to the scoring matrix. So I don't know if it'll happen, but they've been heavily influenced by the industry, and I pointed that out. So it's like a Hail Mary pass. There were maybe 3 people speaking up for small towns at the hearings. It's pretty sad. And then the same 2 women from National Grid and Eversource spoke against allowing us to have a community impact analysis.
It'll take more time. Yeah, it'll slow it down.
Right, but my argument in the letter, which it does have a couple typos, I'm glad I sleep on them. It does say that this could actually speed it up because I've started working on the history of the town already, and it's something we could even give them and assist the project. So that's it. And then again, it's finalizing in March and goes live July.
Why wouldn't they want an environmental, I understand the time-wise, but this whole thing is about saving the planet, and the environment and the planet. Why wouldn't they want, like an impact study on the whole, like, that should be That's
Yeah, I hate to say it, I even asked about in the beginning, I mean, it was probably last April or May on a call about, soil analysis, the PFAS on the panel. And they think other agencies are going to capture that, and their goal is to expedite renewable energy to meet their goals. The whole scorecard is a ruse. If you read it, they can buy a better score. If it comes in where their score is high, like a high score is bad, like a 5, they can do measures to mitigate the score.
Yeah.
So a gentleman actually spoke like, well, are you even going to allow anybody to deny it? So and
this whole thing is,
they listen, but they don't comment on those. But anyway, yeah, so originally they said we would have until December to update our zoning. And then all of a sudden it's October 1. But it is Healy is up for re-election. I think they want this inked and in by October.
Does it have to go to town?
Yeah.
it does, well, these guidelines don't, I mean, these go into effect, but if there's something we want to change in our zoning, it would have to be done in May, because it would be too late for the October, maybe not.
Exactly. But
the October
they
time
know
meeting
that.
is
They
probably the
kept talking
earliest we
about
could do
right
that.
from the beginning.
And times are running out for that.
Or a special town
Yeah,
meeting in
they,
August that everybody loves.
Well, it looks like whether we adopt it or not, we have to follow it on October 1. So this is a mandate, and they've been very careful not to say, it overrules everything you voted in, but it basically overrules everything we voted in. So part of me is like, well, if they're going to make us follow theirs, then why do we have to change ours?
What would we
If
change?
someone else
Yeah,
gets
I mean,
in, they might change it again.
Yeah, what would we change? Exactly.
Well, what's the threshold for this particular legislation in terms of like kilowatts or size?
They're now calling small solar 25 and under, 25 megawatts and under. And then anything over 25 goes directly to the state.
And remind me, 25 megawatts is how big, like acreage are we talking?
How big is it? What? I'm sorry.
Just
Ground-wise?
remind me acreage. Yeah, acreage-wise, how big of a site is that?
Like a half
They're
megawatt per acre?
averaging 7 to 8 acres per megawatt, and some reports depend on the terrain, and if they tilt, which we didn't have tilting. It's anywhere from 7 to 10 acres per megawatt. So they're big parcels, but like we know, there are already leases out there for 50 acres on Carpenter Hill Road leased by ESA Solar.
So
the
potentially
company
we
that
could have almost
overlay.
250 acres of a plot,
Yeah.
and it would still be almost considered a small.
Yeah.
So it would go through this permitting process. Anything bigger than that gets handled by the state, and we're completely out. Anything bigger
Yeah,
than that
they'll
gets
have
handled
to-
by ESFP.
They'll have to and all too, but my argument was I think the only thing that we have going for us is we already supply so much energy. Millennium is 420 megawatts a day. So when you add Millennium Power in and LNG and then solar and batteries,
But they don't care about that.
we're at 65. Well, we could be considered a burdened community, which is why I've been trying to get our scores,
Right.
to get our contribution included in anything.
Yeah, as a definition, right, what is burdened?
Yeah, I mean, if they, we're just trying to do everything we can, and to me, I think we're doing everything we can to follow our zoning bylaws now that, it was almost unanimous at that meeting. You guys were going to go for 40 projects, and it got changed to 30. So,
I almost want Charlton to do our own. Like, let's buy up a big piece of private land and build our own and say, here, and supply and act as our own business.
Well, I don't know why we're not
Because-
doing it on top of landfills.
Yeah,
We've
I
got
mean,
two capped landfills
right,
that,
because just think, if we're gonna, if some, why wouldn't Charlton get the revenue from it in the same?
why can't we benefit?
Why can't-
Exactly.
why
Well,
can't-
there is a parcel on Route 20 that ESA Solar was going for by the substation.
yep.
And if you ask me, if National Grid owns it, then maybe we should approach them and say, look, if you want our support, then we have to benefit because we get no lower cost.
We'll hire a
you
developer, just
know.
like a private
Yeah.
company would,
Right.
and come in and
Form a
create
bond
it,
and do it.
and we'll sell the carbon credits and, you know, let the town
Right.
benefit the millions that.
Yeah.
Can really get some benefit out of it. But that brings me to my next quick new business. Can we use the MRP for that project about doing an Excel spreadsheet to track solar bonds, batteries, and then add a column how much taxes they pay? Because that's something that residents want to know.
For just
We may
this-
not
just
get
this
lower
town?
energy costs,
Just
but
this
maybe we'll
town
get.
or all towns?
I missed that. What was that?
Just this town or all towns? Because that doesn't seem like it's that hard of a, you know, a project.
So I think it's just to track within this town of who's paying,
Yeah,
what are they
within our
paying,
town.
and
Because that's
what
only
are the
collecting
benefits.
data and putting it in a spreadsheet, like
Yeah.
I
We
mean,
don't even have that.
Yeah.
like,
It's close.
I've started a spreadsheet.
Yeah.
It's very hard because
Yeah.
when I go through the assessor's map, the assessors to find out, some of them have different numbers. So I'm wondering if they're taxed as a nonprofit because it used to be like Perkins School for the Blind owned the lease on Sampson Road, so they didn't pay taxes on that. They were tax exempt, but I'm confused as to how much money we actually make and what we're getting.
is this something that we can go to the Board of Selectmen and say, Andrew, could you make your people do it, please? With a
Well,
cherry on top?
we actually had, ask Jane, it's been like 2 years now, I've been requesting bonds, and then I've actually sent notes to our tax assessor saying, you know, do they pay taxes in?
Then I'll go sit in front of the select board.
Yeah.
I mean, no, let's do it.
Yeah.
You should probably sit in front of the select board.
Yeah, I mean, we have requirements in
Chair,
our
right.
bylaws that aren't being met by the town
Yeah. So let's,
system.
can we
Yeah,
write a
we should
letter
do
or
that, we should.
I
write a
think the
letter?
select board feels it's the planning board's responsibility to
Yeah.
track bonds,
That's right.
which
And
is what they
we've-
say.
and
I think
historically,
it should be the treasurer.
the bonds have been
Are we getting
tracked
the, are we
by
getting
our
paid the money?
collector. But the collector did say in writing, she only follows the money, not the paper bonds, which the paper bonds are our surety bonds. So they keep doing this, and it's been almost 2 years if I go back on my email.
This is like so hard to chase to the ground, this request.
But the solar thing should, if we have the data, it should be easy to pull.
Yeah.
You need somebody who knows their
Start.
specific data to collect, to get us. So, you know what, will you send us exactly the information your started spreadsheet on solar? And we will, I think we should formally ask,
Divide it
Let's
up.
invite Andrew to a meeting and we can talk to him about it for.
not even
for-
Andrew,
Yeah.
go in front of the selectmen and
Yeah.
say, selectmen, we're trying to make sure that the town gets
Yeah.
every penny that
Right.
it's supposed to be getting, and we're not losing revenue like we've had in the past.
Right.
And we need you to force it to be done, and we really, in front of the, not in front of me, not in front of the selectmen, and make it like
Yeah.
a,
We have a tax leakage problem.
and.
Yeah, and do you remember I questioned whether they were, I think like the solar companies are telling the state they make X number of megawatts, but then when it comes to being taxed, they do it in AC because the number's smaller.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's very hard to follow. ISO New England gives them an approval letter for
Yeah.
X number of megawatts, but sometimes the actual site plan is different.
Right. Yep, I hear you. That is
All right,
one.
so that's,
we will
I'm just
take
hoping
care
that if we could, once we get it done, it's gonna be awesome. You know, you can jump in at any time, have a phone number for the surety company to validate it.
This should, I can't believe this isn't, is this like government bureaucracy? It doesn't make any sense that we can't get this.
Yeah.
It seems actually disgusting a little bit.
Yeah.
So, I think then we need to get in front of the.
Too many projects we need to.
But it shouldn't be
Yeah.
a big project, like the data, like everything's electronic these days,
Right.
right? Like,
Yeah, if it's coded correctly, I can imagine that if the assessors must have a way to make a print of all properties designated as 451, and that's some renewable code. It can't be that difficult to do it, but even if we utilize an intern to do some legwork for us during the day, they might be nicer to them.
I'll touch base with assessors and.
We're gonna call this Project Tax Leakage.
that's great, we should
Well,
absolutely.
we can't go
And then
that
people
hard.
will-
It may be
People will
fine.
notice,
It-
like, why are we not pet taxes? Let's go after it.
It might be, you know, legit and everything is where it should be, but that goes to problem number 2, and that's we need bond protection. So
So what we really need is a spreadsheet with all the different lands, all their different, all the different megawatts, what they're paying in taxes. Will you just email me exactly what you need, and I will privately message all of our selectmen and say, we're planning to come and ask you for this, and if you don't, I'm gonna post social media that Project Tax Leakage. I'm just joking, I'm not really gonna do that, but
get it
just
going.
tell me exactly what you need, and we'll see if we can get
We
it done
could
really fast.
just sit in front of the board.
You don't want me to go to the tax department tomorrow?
I think that would be good for you to do, Jane.
I think that's step
I hope the
one.
board agrees. Because you have to work with these people. The last thing we want is to make a hostile work environment for
Well,
you.
it just doesn't make any sense where.
I'll go to tax.
It's not like we're
And
doing
then
this for
see
personal,
if
that's
we need
like
to
personal.
escalate.
I know, but
So a
I
year ago, I
worked
sent
there for a
Andrew a
couple of years.
message about this.
So we've been waiting for a year. Should it take a year to
and-
make sure that we're getting all the right tax money that we're getting?
Right.
So it was a year ago, and here's his response in case you want to know. It says, my understanding
Actually, I can
was
print
that
them
these
all out.
bonds were under control and oversight of the planning board. Currently, my office lacks any formal documentation of what's required of each project by the PB and what has been collected for each. I'm in the process of collecting this information now for further review and action. Any additional information you have.
Will you forward that to
And I'll give you what I have.
Don, are you on like a little computer?
I know.
He has
He's
every
like
email,
Spock.
he has every
This is
email
the-
he's ever sent.
But I'll give you what I
It's
have.
like Spock over
I have
there.
a folder right up there.
Well,
Justin,
I also, just on another note, in 2017, there was a planning board meeting where 3 solar projects submitted decommissioning bonds in cash. 0 point. Granted, they were under $19,000, but they were in cash.
Cash,
In 2017, it was, and then 2 others were discussed. So I have a little too much time on my hands as well.
yeah.
And you make fun of me, ha ha ha.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, but you work and you have kids at home.
All right. Thank you, Lori.
Yeah, anytime.
Thank you.
do you want me to send it to your home or?
Anyway.
Or you know, you get,
Okay.
send it to the town, just keep it
Are you
on.
guys okay with that letter?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Thank you for doing all that.
Yeah.
And a funny thing though, right? It's the letter deadline for any comments is Friday the 13th, but the entire EFSB has their board meeting voting on the regulations on the 12th.
As soon as we
Oh,
can
nice.
send that, yeah, please, as soon as you can send
On
it.
the
get it.
12th, the day
They're
before
voting
the
on 12,
deadline?
they're voting on the day before the deadline?
Exact-
That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, they obviously are tired of this and want to put it to bed. So the sooner I get it to them, the better.
Yep.
I ask everybody who's running for election, I've asked them this question about the mandate on solar and how horrible it is, and they don't care about anything endangered, anything if they want one there, and no one has any freaking clue, not one of them.
It's
Talking
all in the
about-
guise of pretending to care about the environment. Well,
Renewable energy.
they
It
want
can't
it
be
to look
bad
good.
if it's.
They want it to look good.
Yeah.
Whatever gets the
Like I
biggest
said,
headlines.
it's cover every parking lot, highway, and building before you cut another one of our trees, so.
Have them pay for new roofs for the schools and put them on top of all the schools. They all could use a little bit of the money that they're spending doing all of the stormwater and everything else. Let them put a new roof
That's
on
right.
all of our schools, right?
All right.
Yeah, and wait till they find chemicals, but that's a whole nother issue.
Come on.
Okay, thank you. Jane, tell me this sign for the Breasted, what, the frontage, is this something else? What do we have to do?
Oh, yes, I have this for you to sign. This is the decision.
Oh, all right.
And then
That,
I'll get it
and
to
then
the
some
town
bill.
clerk in
Okay.
its 20-day appeal,
Got
and
it.
then we'll do the A&R for it.
Right.
So you sign, yes, that's all.
Okay, can you please
You have to
review?
take the vote, sorry, you have to take a vote on that letter.
Yep, all in favor of allowing Lori to send the letter?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you,
Yep.
just take it legal.
I'm just gonna have you sign this for us, right?
And then you guys review the minutes and we'll discuss.
You go.
I'm going to abstain from that since I wasn't here.
That's it.
That's it. Thanks, Jane.
You were at the 7th. You were at the 7th meeting.
Oh,
Yeah, you were as well.
First,
Yep.
okay. There was some time last meeting.
Motion.
I make a motion that we accept the January 7th, 2026 planning board meeting minutes.
A second.
Motion and a second, January 7th, all in favor?
Abstain.
Thank you.
So, are we always?
Motion for the 21.
Yeah, Bill Berenger instead of Bob.
I'll fix
I
it.
just, I didn't know
Did
if
you
that
ever
would
want
make a
to,
difference.
did you ever consider changing your name? No, you didn't.
Yeah, it might be easier for you to change your name than go back
I've
and
had certain
reapprove
days
these
that
minutes.
it's been,
Your nickname's Bill from now on.
yeah.
It's like you just
Bob.
changed it. Yeah.
Really, Bob.
You could be like Billy Bob or something. It could be like really childhood.
I make a motion to accept the planning board minutes for January 21st.
I second.
Motion and a second, all in favor?
I.
Aye. Thank you. These minutes reminded me that we should put on our agenda a zoning bylaw review with the commissioner.
Yes, he
To
just,
continue.
he's on vacation.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Yep.
so that is
Whatever
added
that
to
comes
the
around.
21st. I have it
Okay,
on
you
there.
do.
Yep.
Thanks, Jane. Okay, I think that's it. Anything else?
Yep, just a couple updates.
Please.
I have an appointment with Graves Engineering next Tuesday. We're gonna do 2 submittals. Worcester Road, Old Worcester Road site plan for a gas station convenience store. Haven't looked at anything yet, that was Randy, but he's gonna review it with me.
Is that on
And
the end?
I think it's in Alicia, right? Right that corner.
Wow.
I haven't seen anything.
Where that corner where that,
I think that must be where the dirt pile is.
that's what I mean, is it, yeah.
Is it on that
Yeah.
side? Is it the dirt pile side, or was it the side that was sold to Scott's Siding?
I think it's the dirt pile. And then we have a special permit, cell tower coming in off of Bond Road, and I heard it's Verizon Wireless.
I'm sure they'll co-locate something there by now.
Yeah, 2 A&Rs are gonna come in. Old Worcester Road Extension, which is Alicia's. And the reason she's doing that, she's selling her house, and she's breaking a piece of the property off of the Greater Worcester Land Trust.
Okay.
So it doesn't affect the Mid-State Trail.
So the piece that goes to the Mid-State Trail.
It's really nice.
Okay.
And then, JDH Realty Trust, Route 20 Bay Path Road, couple lots being proposed.
I have a question.
Yeah.
On where the convenience store wants to go in with the gas station is, that's all contaminated soil there.
Where,
It is?
If it's the one that's still got the pile of dirt there.
That's what I'm assuming. I haven't seen anything,
Because
and I
They have to
wasn't
go through all
involved
the-
with
they have to
it.
As
go
I
through
was
all
on the
the testing.
Hazardous Waste Commission,
Okay,
and
that's what I'm
I
assuming
found a
it's
hole in
there.
the tank when they tried to get the tank out of there before the hazardous waste and the fire department were there.
Mhm.
And the state police brought it back to the scene.
How long ago was
where
this?
is this? Which spot you?
The dirt pile one,
He's
right?
talking
The dirt
about
pile,
the dirt pile.
right
There
next
was-
to the.
Was there
Bowl
ever
Mill or
something
whatever
there?
it was.
That was
No, just
Burley
dirt.
Games sandbox.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but I think, but he probably had a fuel tank there, right? Is that what happened?
It was a gas tank, it was leak, and they also, inside the building, they have a
Building?
pipe.
I don't think we're talking about
Maybe
the
I'm
same
talking the
spot.
same wrong,
Yeah,
same.
Yeah.
What's it
This is dirt
near?
there.
I'm talking right across from 169.
Oh,
Yeah,
no,
that's
no,
different.
no.
Oh, no, this
Oh,
is,
okay,
no,
I'm-
no.
I'm-
No,
No,
this is
never
down
mind.
on Old Worcester
Worcester
Road.
Road Extension.
Old Worcester,
Old
all right.
Worcester Road. Worcester Road and Old Worcester Road,
This
where,
has always
where
been-
Burlingame had a sandbox there, and he was always out
Forever.
there making loam and digging and.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
Okay.
oh, I know
Yeah.
it, across from
Oh.
Tursky's,
Yes, across from ADT, yeah.
Okay.
sorry.
And then one other thing, Ken Kozowski, brought in a plan, not a full submittal, but on Route 20 near O'Malley's. And with the new rule that came out, he thinks it should be a minor, review.
Okay.
But I'm gonna have Mike look at that also. It's for 9 employee parking spaces, 6 40-foot storage containers, and 3 business trucks for seal coating. He thinks cause it's not permanent, he should have a waiver on a professional review.
And no building.
No, and
No
that
building,
falls
no,
under
it's not
section
gonna pave a
7.1
parking lot.
administration.
That's
Number
in
A.
between O'Malley's and Dad's, or on the other side of Dad's, up closer to Richardson's?
He said the other side of O'Malley sits. You
I
wanna,
think that's where the salt
salt barn is there, heavy
barn was
sodium.
there.
you wanna peek at it? You wanna? I
It's-
haven't.
Yeah, I mean,
The salt barn, and then it's the quarter keg after
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
That's why I was thinking, maybe it was that little piece of property between Dad's and,
And you can see how so it's,
So it's not a corner here.
but
It's hard to
he
tell
feels
from
because
that.
it's not permanent structures, that it should be a minor site
Are they
plan,
paving a parking lot?
which honestly would be
Yeah,
like,
is he paving it? That's it.
I don't know.
That's.
I
He
mean, we
wants
had
to
the-
come into the next meeting and
we had the
discuss
same
it.
thing with the property on, behind CVS. And that was, storage containers that he wanted to use as a storage, but
Mhm.
it's a building, it's a structure.
A container is a container.
It's a
I
structure,
know.
it's
I know.
a structure though. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I think you would need the same thing that for any other development, I mean, that's what we had required before.
I just wanna show you what he passed in.
Okay.
Oh, this is what he said.
Mhm.
Wheeler, simple survey.
How big are the storage containers? Like trailer truck size?
Trailer truck
I'm
size,
assuming
yeah.
trailer
Yes,
trucks.
shipping containers.
Yeah.
With heavy equipment.
And what kind of protection is he gonna be using to keep fluids dripping and?
It's still a
it just
business.
Sounds like a.
Still a business.
Might not be a retail business, but it's
Right.
commercial.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, might as well let Mike decide. if
That's
they're,
what I, yeah,
you know,
that's what
like-
I told him today. I said, when you come in Tuesday, you can look at this and
Yep.
informally let us know.
And has Kurt seen it? I mean, I think he would have.
He said Kurt did, but I can't say because Kurt's on vacation.
Isn't that
Everybody says that
wetlands?
Kurt
Some
says
of that
things and
wetlands?
Yeah,
until you
that's
ask
right.
Kurt, you don't know.
That's what I said. I said, I'll talk to Kurt about this Monday and then when Mike comes in, we'll have a sit down.
All right, thanks for
See if you
showing.
want
So
it
in my
on.
opinion, is, we had this before us before. and
Jane?
we told
Yeah.
them
Where
they
do
needed We told them they needed a full site
Yeah, I
plan.
agree with you.
But,
I believe that. I would say the same thing. Just gonna like, who
Why?
knows? Like,
Why
what-
would this be such a special case?
Some of the,
It's a
I think the
commercial.
fill came from, some of
They're
that
making
fill
a
came
change.
from Route 20 with it, when they were doing the building there. Because it's, I think it's,
Yep.
if we're going towards Oxford from here, it'd be that lot right after O'Malley's. That's where the salt barn used to
Yep.
be, I thought.
That salt barn's not there anymore?
I don't know if it's there or not, I mean,
I thought
I
it
thought
was.
they were gonna tear it down, I don't
don't
know.
know. I don't think there's anything
I
on
never
this
noticed, I
property.
drive by there every day. I don't, you know, I
Yeah.
don't
Okay.
drive by
Take
there.
a look at it.
Thank you. One other issue, planning board update for everyone. So Randy is our planning director. He's requested to, he pulled the flag for FMLA leave. So I think that's
Wait,
up
are we
to,
supposed to practice is this something that we talk in public on the video or? Okay.
we're not making any decision. I'm just,
Just basic.
yeah, I think I just wanted, because this, in part, the point I was going to, that from the time he requested, I think he has 21 days, I think, of time at most. But in the meantime, please welcome our interim planning director. Jane is filling in for him in this time. So thank you for all your help in doing this. So any communications has to go through the interim planning director.
And it would be nice if on the website, you weren't still listed as an administrative
I
assistant.
know. Yeah, we'll
Wonderful,
change
thank you.
that, yep. Yep.
So we've had, so Randy notified us of that, and I'll just keep you posted on what happens during this process. But everything until then, Jane, you're doing a great job. I appreciate all your help.
Yes,
And
thank
I
you,
know it's
Jane.
a much bigger workload, so thank you for keeping up with it and keeping in front of it most importantly, like you do. Good job. Okay, thank you. Anything else?
Just make
So
sure
it
I
is
get
that
these
lot,
copies.
it is a lot between the Commonwealth, the Salt Barn, and O'Malley's. There's a wooded lot in there, so that's where it is.
Okay.
It's wooded currently?
It's somewhat wooded. There's a lot of wetlands in there, and I think the plan showed a lot of wetlands in
That's
there.
gonna have to be.
All back into there, you get down
But
to.
I still think your site plan, that's
I agree
a tough,
100%, yeah.
that's a tough hill to come over and
And it's Route
Or else
20.
that's
Route
a
20
state's
and-
permanent
I don't-
trailers.
it's.
Trailers are, I mean,
Do we get to
it's pretty,
decide?
pretty permanent.
Yeah,
Like-
we do.
I don't
Okay,
think
most-
there's any reason.
I'll put it on the next agenda.
That's one of those things we looked at, what's temporary, 20 years, 30 years?
I'm just like,
Yep.
All right, motion to adjourn.
so moved.
All in favor?
Second.
I'm gonna get more copies.
All in favor? All in favor, good.
Aye.
Thank you.